If you feel comfortable, please turn on your cameras. I would love to see your faces. Let me know what your cacao you're drinking, how you're feeling. Just update in the chat. How's everybody doing in the last couple of weeks of the snake year before we move into fiery fire horse energy? And also Neptune moved into Aries today, so we got some energy shift. How's everybody doing? Let me know how you're feeling. I have my tantric rose blossom with coconut milk and rose powder, cinnamon. I added a bunch of things, so I'm trying to remember all the things that I added to it. And I added mucuna, which is good for the brain, good for the dopamine balance in the brain. I added two other things, and I don't remember what they are, but I have my tantric rose blossom. Diving Tanzania, definitely feeling the shedding. Vibrant vitality. Ooh, what else is everybody drinking? No cacao, too late. I understand. I understand. Sometimes I don't go to evening cacao ceremonies because I'm like, I love cacao. I always want to drink cacao. But sometimes my brain is like, sleep is not a thing after that. And I'm like, "Ah." So I get you. Feeling heavy. I understand for sure. Uplifting Uganda. That's a good one for feeling heavy as well. Feel the uplifting Uganda. Yay, Sheila, I'm so glad you're feeling better. Tantric Rose Blossom as well. Love it. I told my dad to make his cacao with coconut sugar because of you, actually. Because he was like, I put cane sugar in it. And I was like, no, Dad, don't do that. I mean, obviously, he can do whatever he wants. He's making his own cacao. But I was like, no, make it with honey. He's like, I didn't like it with honey. And I was like, I love it with honey. I make it with honey every day. And I was like, try maple syrup or coconut sugar. And he's like, oh, those are some good ideas. And I'm like, yeah, there's plenty of other options out there. Ooh, still feeling all the things, everybody. Ah, Oaxacan and spice. That's a good blend with uplifting Uganda, practicing presence and from moment to moment. Oh, these are so great. I love all these. Well, welcome everyone. We also have a very fitting card for today. I have a little bit of a short little background of what happened, but it's my Druid Animal Oracle deck, and I just like pulled the deck out of the box, and there was a card that was like really stuck in the inside of the box, and I don't usually experience that. So I was like trying to like pry the card off, and I was like, you know what, it's not coming out, so I like kind of tapped it on my hand. Well, I realized as I tapped it on my hand that this was going to be the card for the day. It's Snake. Why am I not surprised? One, that it got stuck in the box. We're still in the snake energy. We're still clearing. And two, it's Snake. It just feels so fitting, especially for the time that we're in and all the shifting that's happening. So, Animal Oracle deck, I'll post the picture of it in the chat later. So this is Adder in the Celtic, and it's called Nahir. Nahir, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. The keywords are transformation, healing, and life energy. The meaning offers the adder offers healing and transformation. Its ability to glide into the darkness through the crevices in the rocks connects it to the under or other worlds and the realm of death. It is the totem animal of the earth goddess and also the sky father's sun god, and represents our ability to die and be reborn. The energy that enables us to be born on earth is sexual energy, but this also necessitates our death. Befriending adder or snake power will enable you to journey through life gracefully and magically, shedding your old life easily when the time comes, whether that old life be of a physical body or a stage of this present moment. Feels very accurate. And this deck always recommends reading the shadow side as well. So the reverse side is the adder urges you to abandon the ability to wound and replace it with the power to heal. Although the snake is poisonous and has been used in the Christian tradition as a symbol of evil, in the Druid and other traditions, it represents healing and the power of transformation. The snake, as a totem animal, urges us to use our powers of energy, penetration, swift and silent movement, not to harm others, but to help and heal them. We can learn to love and channel the serpent currents that flow through our body and the body of the earth so that they become beneficent, healing, life-giving currents that ultimately flow, like the meandering snake rivers of the plains, to the wide, wide sea. This feels really accurate. All of this. So, with that being said, we have wonderful Lujela for our ceremony today. We're going to be talking all about the collective and just what's going on in the collective world right now. And I will pass the torch over to you, Lujela. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that beautiful card and setting the tone. For those who don't know, my name is Ligia Latroy. I live here in Mexico. I'm a medicine woman, a coach and consultant, weaving with sacred indigenous communities to bring those ancient ways to modern practicality, right? So one of the ways that I play is with cacao. And if you haven't met me before, I'm all about spiritual play because we do a lot of work every day. Now, spiritual play doesn't mean we get to bypass, So, you might like the swings, but rock climbing gets a little scary high up. And so, on our spiritual path, some of the things are very exciting to experience, but other things are more daunting or make us have that fear come up, right? And so, today I'm very grateful to share cacao with you. If you have your cup, you can bring it into the heart space. And if it feels aligned, you can let those eyes close. And just have a moment of gratitude for yourself. Thanking yourself for one or two things and just sharing that gratitude for you. Allowing that gratitude to dance down towards your feet, feeling the connection with the earth and bringing your awareness to Mother Earth. We thank you, Pachamama, Ish, Gaia, Mawu. We thank you for the infinite names that are called Mother Earth. We thank you for allowing us this playground of life to explore our consciousness in the here and now, for allowing us this day as a human to continue to learn how to be in harmony with the other species on this planet, our brothers and sisters, the two-leggeds and the four-leggeds, those that swim in the ocean and those that fly in the sky. We thank you, Pachamama, for continuing to show us your patience, showing us how to root deeper into our self-understanding so we can be a pillar of light for the here and now in the world we are calling in. So giving thanks to Mother Earth for all of the plants, all of the seasons of life that we get to explore, and giving gratitude for those in the north for the spirit of winter, for thanking this time, for allowing us to go into the darkness, to continue to find that light and that nourishment that we need, knowing always that this Mother Earth is our first ancestor, the ancestor we all share, and her love is bountiful enough for all that we need and desire here. Allowing your attention and your awareness to come to the essence of water. Thinking about that water that filled this cup of cacao, the water that sprinkles on you in the shower. We give thanks to the element of water that helps us move and dance in the flow of the emotional state. As we move through the energy of this 13 days, the Tracena of Emosh, we connect to the conscious collective energy in the waters of all. We ask that the waters continue to be purified and cleansed so that the new generation has plenty of water to drink for the next 21 lifetimes to come. We ask for the waters to continue to show us how to flow and not freeze and hold the emotions of the world inside, allowing us to continue to find outlets to truly release what no longer serves us. Giving thanks to the waters and asking that they continue to show us how to release with joy, how to release with play, and how to release through our pain and our suffering through the sacred tears to illuminate our brothers and sisters in the collective. Taking in a deep breath of gratitude and sending this gratitude to the essence of fire. We thank the ancient flame, that spark, that light, that fire that warms us up, and that connection to the sun. We thank the fire that dances in our heartbeat, that continues to remind us of the light that we are inside. As the times in the world and the collective continue to get dark and awaken the people through this chaos, we ask that our light shine brighter and our self-understanding continue to lead us through this time, being the beacon to show us the way. Thanking the fire for continuing to illuminate us, protect us, and being the alchemizer. For fire is the only element that cannot be contaminated. So may our fires burn bright in our spiritual path, and may we continue to know that this light is the infinite source of all. Taking in another deep breath in and releasing to the four winds that we breathe. Imagining in front of you, behind you, to the right of you, and to the left of you, four white lights coming and creating a pillar of love around you. Thanking the four winds that we breathe in the four directions, we give thanks to the essence of chi, to prana, to life. We thank this breath for allowing us to inhale and the exhalation to allow us to release and soften, giving gratitude to the infinite force that the winds carry as we slowly close out this year of the 13 in the Mayan calendar. We thank you to the winds of change that are blowing in the collective and asked to continue to find the strength in our deep diaphragm breaths so we can be centered in all the decisions we make to fly in the direction of our dreams. Taking in another deep breath. And sending some gratitude to Mama Cacao. We thank this beautiful, infinite plant for all of her love, her wisdom, and understanding. We thank you, Cacao, for continuing to show us how to awaken to our heartbeat and to hear the sound and the drum of our infinite calling. Thank you, Cacao, for being the sweetness in the bitter times, for being the loving hug and the collective awakening. We thank you for showing us how to join community and share in love. You can allow yourself to blow into your cacao and set your attention for the day, allowing yourself to drink in this intention as you slowly open up the eyes. If you feel called, you can share your intention for this day in the chat. Um, I see some people are calling in the shedding of some emotions. Some people are looking for that community love today. Stillness, alignment, courage. I love these. Devotion to love and flow is so important in these times. Anna's calling in balance. I'm very grateful to be here to share today with the energy that we're moving through in the Mayan Cosmo Village. We are a village, cosmology. And so for those that don't know, I've studied with the Mayan community in Lake Atitlan in Guatemala for over 8 years. And today is a very special day because it's the essence and energy of 5 Kan. And Kan is the feathered serpent. So today, us getting the card of the snake is very on brand. It's very in alignment. And Kan is also named Kukut Kan or Quetzalcoatl. Funny enough, where I live in Mexico, I live in Tepoztlan, Mexico, and I live in the birthplace of Quetzalcoatl. So the energy of this feathered serpent is the rise of the consciousness, right? The feathered serpent is awakening that kundalini. It is the awareness of enlightenment, right? And so I would like to share a little something that I learned living here in Mexico. According to the Mexico stories, Quetzalcoatl, who is the Nahuatl Mexica version of Kan, the Mayan, just like the Bible has a story of a big flood that comes and washes everybody away, so do the Aztecs. And in their story, Quetzalcoatl brought them out of the water. So Quetzalcoatl brought them out of the dark times. The consciousness awakened them to a new light. Quetzalcoatl brought community, mathematics, healing, medicine, and mushrooms, special mushrooms. So the energy of Quetzalcoatl is that serpent, that kundalini dancing from the root chakra all the way up beyond the third eye so we can expand. But with that energy, there's a lot of shedding and a lot of moments of being uncomfortable as the unknown starts to be revealed. Today, when we look at the energy of 5, we can think about our 5 senses. What can you see in your collective awakening? What can you hear, right? What can you taste? What can you smell and what can you touch? When we start to awaken, our senses start to shift. For some of you, you know, I read something called the Akashic Records, your soul's book of life. Everyone has an individual light that cannot be copied or an individual code. And so I can go into your records and say, what's your past life? Why'd you pick your mom? What's your karma with your brother? What lifetimes will you continue to live? What planets do you come from? But all of this understanding comes from the space of consciousness, of awakening. And so awakening looks very different from every single person, right? You see those reels that are like, oh, how they want the spiritual awakening look. And it's like the girl having a beautiful time, dancing in roses and flowers. Oh, it's love and light. And they're like, what the spiritual awakening really looks like. And you're bawling, crying with your cup of cacao, and you don't have anyone to talk to because now you've had to leave some old friends because you've elevated past them. And you're feeling a little lonely or confused or a little lost, right? And so, as much as society is loving to make the conscious awakening a beautiful thing, it does have beautiful moments, but the awakening comes with a lot of pain. It comes with a lot of suffering because we have to release who we thought we were. We have to release the stories that were told to us because those aren't our stories. And then we have to get that courage that someone said they're looking for to write our true destiny and to walk that path. So, three questions I always bring up that the Mayans ask is, who are you? Where do you come from and where are you going? Your consciousness has been dancing around many lifetimes, different planets, different bodies, different incarnations. And some reason you decided 2026, we're going to be there for the Great Awakening. Whew. Somehow we all signed up to be on Earth right now. And if you look around, it's a very disheartening time, right? It's a very hard time on our souls' hearts. We are going through a big collective grief. But through this collective grief is rage, right? There's a lot of anger coming up that we are experiencing as we look at the state of ICE in the world, in the states, as we look at the corruption going from all over. When I think about Khan, the energy of the feathered serpent, I think about community, which is one of Khan's greatest gift, is bringing us together with community. And as you start awakening, your community starts changing because you elevate to a place where you can only be around your peers, your mirror. But when we look at our community, are we giving them the same respect we're giving ourselves? A lot of us pour a lot into our community, but we forget our own vessels. Some of us will give, and then forget to take care of ourselves. So the essence of the five today reminds me of, are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care of the things you see and digest in your eyesight? Are you being mindful of what you hear and the conversations you allow into your psyche? Are you being mindful of what you touch, right? Are you touching other people's pain without cleansing yourself? Many of us are healers. Some of people are parents. There's someone in the group who's been taking care of their sick kid all week, right? She's been touching germs. But in society, we touch ideas that are not meant for us, but somehow they get stuck in our head, right? So part of this energy of the feathered serpent, the snake, is what are you willing to release to free your senses? What are you willing to give up to really understand and see clearly in this current age? If you continue up the chakras, right, the root chakra is where the Kundalini sits, and it's like two snakes that dance up together like this. One energy is more masculine and the other is the feminine, but together they create the collective Kundalini. Are you neglecting your masculine because you're female? Or are you overworking your masculine and neglecting your necessity for rest, for receiving, right? As we come into the awakening of the collective, who are we awakening? Who are you? Why did you come here? Are you being mindful of your heart in these times? Because sometimes when we go so deep into collective pain, we need to take a moment back and say, Let me give myself a heart rub. What does my inner kid need today? Because I saw too many toxic things that hurt my heart. As an activist, I'm a very big activist. I teach a lot about taking care of yourself, about connecting to the medicine of joy as you continue to fight for liberation for others. But first, we have to free ourselves from our own inner suffering. We have to shed that illusion of what mom and dad said we were, or what the society said we were. So we can really understand where our calling is being driven towards, right? And so we are in the year of the snake for a little bit longer for the Chinese calendar. And so this is the best time to keep shedding with the spirit of winter. Winter is all about death, decay, being inside, going inside of yourself. It can be a lot of depression right now. Thank goodness we have cacao that releases endorphins and serotonin and gives us that anandamide, that bliss molecule. But are we really giving our heart time to speak? Are you making sure you're crying or releasing that collective anger or grief? When we think of the times that we are in, it's very devastating. But through this darkness, there will become light. Through this chaotic dismantling of a lot of systems, we'll get a new foundation. But that foundation really depends on us showing up in our truth so we can voice what we want, right? So we can speak into the existence. And that requires us to know ourselves, to know our shadow side just as well as we know our love and light, and to find a center point where they can both be in harmony. Where in yourself are you feeling the rage for what's happening? Where in your body are you feeling the pain of the collective? Where in you are you feeling depleted and maybe like you need some energy? To be a warrior for others, you must first fight for yourself. You first must adorn yourself with the awareness that you are priority. I see a lot of activists giving all their energy out, but then they're depleted within 2 months. But if we are here to create a new reality, a new planet, a new home for consciousness, we have to take care of ourselves as an act of resistance so we have the longevity to see the new world come to be. And that means looking at our shadow and getting real close to our suffering as individuals. Where am I suffering in my own life? And how can I shed that and bring in joy? How do I heal that to bring in harmony? And so it's important that we ask. Yes, I love the book by Marie Brown called Pleasure Activism, or that's her middle name, but where can we ask ourselves, what do we need to heal so we can show up for the collective, right? When we think about the Kundalini, some people are further along than others, right? Some people might be like, ooh, what's that word, Kundalini? I don't really know that. Some people might be like, oh, I'm doing Kundalini yoga and I'm doing Kriyas and I'm awake, right? Some people might have experienced Kundalini awakening maybe in yoga or plant medicine. And so when your Kundalini awakens, it can feel amazing, but it can also be a little bit, I'm going to use the word chaotic because sometimes gifts open with it, right? And the cool thing is the planet has its own Kundalini. So Mother Earth has a Kundalini that moves from place to place. The Kundalini actually moves in 13,000-year cycles. The Kundalini of the Earth used to be in Tibet, and now it is moved down by the Panama Canal. There is a book about this when the Kundalini of the Earth got stuck and many shamans had to go get it because they had built a dam, and the dam, the energy could not move, the serpent of light. So this energy of the Kundalini can be found in Vedic, right, in yogi philosophy. It can be found in different languages. So One thing about cacao is it helps you to awaken the heart chakra, which is a really important part of the Kundalini, right? A lot of people focus on awakening from the heart chakra up, and then they forget the root. So then we have a lot of people who are unbalanced because as below, so above. If you want to awaken the Kundalini, you have to know your ancestors. You got to know that root chakra. You got to know the pain and suffering that came when you were an itty bitty little kid, when little brother was picking on you, making you mad, because all of that energy is important. The seven chakras that we have more than seven, but we'll just talk about the seven today. The seven chakras that we have all connect deeply to this Kundalini dance. I'm thinking of the energy of Shiva and Kali as I see Bri Kali. Shiva in the Vedic is the masculine. He's very peaceful and stillness, and Kali is the feminine rage and chaos. But she's also the protector. And together, these two help create this dance of life that we are in. So that sacred rage that you have for these times is important. But we need the stillness and the presence to know how to move that sacred rave to a dance that can be transmuting of the pain and not just a continuation of it, right? And so, what are you doing to get rid of that rage? Are you dancing? I love throwing on music and dancing. Are you working out? Are you crying when you need to cry? Are you making collective offerings? During this emotional sin, I did a mandala for the entire earth. I've made multiple flower mandalas. We are not victims because we chose to be on earth at this time. We are actually courageous light beings and light workers, and some of us are light warriors. How are you using your light to shine in the darkness of your own mental health as you converse through winter? For some of my coaching clients, I've had them make altars for the spirit of winter so that they can allow anything that needs to die and be released to be released. So by spring, they can truly be in their joy. They can shed all that sadness, shed all those old heavy layers, right? But a lot of people don't want to look at winter as an opportunity to go in. They want to keep running from themselves. So they can doom scroll all day and they can do everything else in the house except ask, how's my heart? We live in a world that is very distracting to get to know your own consciousness. A lot of us love to explore in other cultures and we forget our own. So that's why I love when the Mayans say, where do you come from? Because they encourage us. Yes, learn the Mayan calendar. Yes, learn the new tradition, but don't forget your roots because there's magic there and there's medicine there and there's strength there. And so, how do you empower yourself to awaken while the collective is crying? Because your soul came here to do something. All right. And now, knock, knock, knock. The youth are asking us to shine. The youth are asking for us to remember our place in the divine dance of life. And that means we got to get curious. Curious enough to say, what parts of me don't have love yet? Curious enough to say, okay, shadow, I'm feeling that anger and you're making me do things that are, not necessarily productive for me. Maybe you get angry and you go to your vices, right? Maybe you get angry and you avoid getting to the root of it and you yell at someone else. How do you make anger your friend and get to understand it? How do you say, hey, anger, what do you have to say to me today? And how can I use you productively? Because if we let the anger and the grief stay in our bodies, we could get things like sick or cancer. So we need safe outlets to release this energy. And the big thing is to stay in faith, stay in our awareness that all of this pain, all of this suffering in the collective consciousness is part of the awakening. Is part of the sun coming out of the clouds of illusion to brighten us again to the truth of who we are as a human collective and species. to show us how to be in harmony with not just one another, but with the trees, with the birds, with the water. These are times of deep contemplation of compassion. How do we stay compassionate in these times? Well, do you have enough compassion for you? Are you still telling yourself you're not good enough or you're not worthy? Do you need to add some affirmations or tapping into your life so you can tap in a new rhythm, tap in a new frequency? Allow yourself to open up to your true divinity. Because regardless of if we want to or not, our awakening is an important part of the collective awakening. So the more we look at our shadow and say, ooh, I don't want to go there, but I'm going to look, I'm going to get curious, the more people we're helping in the dance of life. The more times we say, you know what, I'm so angry, I'm going to be an activist and I'm going to make change and use that productively, we're also helping the dance of life. So with this energy of Quetzalcoatl, of Khan, of Kuku Khan, the various names of this feathered serpent, how will you rise your Kundalini? How will you rise your self-awareness to see yourself as an infinite flame, as an infinite light? It reminds me of the Buddhists, all the Buddhists, I'm Buddhist, took my vow in 2016, but it reminds me of that there's a picture of all these Buddhist lamas and they all have a candle. It's like thousands of Buddhist monks and all have candles, right? Keeping that light. Every time I see those Buddhist monks walking for peace in America, I think, wow, in the freezing cold and all these temperatures, they are walking with compassion for the collective. But many of the collective aren't compassionate for themselves. We're still treating ourselves bad, putting things in our bodies we don't need or want. So, how do you prioritize yourself as a light that is needed in the now? How do you make space for your senses to be replenished? If you're seeing too many things that are not, if you've been watching the reels of the horrors around the earth, your eyes need to be cleansed. If you've been hearing too many things, your ears need to be cleansed. So as we continue to go through the shedding, I would invite you guys to play with herbal baths. Put some herbs in a pot, cleanse yourself with them, right? Use smudging. I have some copal going here, right? You can work with Palo Santo. You can work with sage, sacred sage, but be mindful, right? Because some of these plants are getting endangered. But are you cleansing the collective off of you so you can hear your own self? A lot of times we can't hear ourselves because we have our roommate's energy, school's energy. You had a bad time at work, all that energy's on you. When I lived in New York, I used to keep salt in my shower, and people would come and say, why is there salt in the shower? I say, oh, I do salt shower every day. Even simple salt in your hands in the shower washes away the energy. It's like going in the ocean. So as we continue to shed in the year of the snake and we continue to shed in the year of in the season of the winter, I invite you to bring in cleansing practices, right? Working with crystals, find ways to release the heaviness, one of yourself and then of the world. For some of my clients who are doing the winter altar, I also have them doing twice a month, they do burials of things that they're burying into the winter so that by spring it's no longer there. So maybe it's grief, maybe it's debt or scarcity, right? Maybe you need to bury scarcity so you can follow your dream. Maybe you need to bury, I'm not good enough. So you use tobacco, or you get some cacao seeds, or you get something and you offer it to the earth as an ally. Someone said they like burning letters, working with the moon, right? Write that list of what you don't want and release it. But then also remember what you're inviting in. Call in that joy, call in that play, call in that understanding of your individual essence so you can shine it in the best way. So With the energy of the Kundalini, I'm going to have us explore our chakras today. So, it's so funny when I got into the world of spirituality and plant medicine, I was so scared of the snake. I had a very Christian background, right? So I was like, snake, evil, Adam, Eve, it made him eat the apple and made him conscious, woke him up. I was scared of the snake, right? But then the deeper you go into spirituality, you realize like, wow, this snake is like everywhere. It's like in a lot of cultures, even if you see a hospital, they have that staff with the snake going up with the feathers. Very Quetzalcoatl, right? And so as you keep moving, you understand that some of the things that maybe we were challenged with when we were young aren't as challenging now. And so some parts of you that are still fighting to wake up, and in maybe a year, they'll be so happy they're up. But be gentle with the parts of you that are still shedding. Give them reverence, give them love. It's not easy to wake up in a time where the world is crying. It's not easy to wake up in a time and to be conscious when the systems are falling. It's very easy to be asleep, but we all are outside the matrix because we're drinking cacao. Yep, Neo called us and said, wake up the heart. And somehow we started drinking this cacao. We didn't know what we were doing. Okay, I didn't. I didn't know. I didn't know. But there's a heartbeat waking up right now. And with all this, I look and I see these protests and I see all of our people joining together and saying, dun dun dun, a new day, a new beat, a new rhythm, a new time, a new now. And we're a part of this collective heartbeat. And so today we're going to just explore moving the energy of the snake up through our chakras. And so I'm just gonna explain it and then I'll dance us through it. I'll put a little music on. And we're gonna bring the snake up into each of the chakras and ask a few questions and then allow it to go to the next chakra. And so if you never played with your Kundalini, you might move, you might shake a little, you might get sensory or tingly feelings. Just know that this is all of the flow and is all supporting you in your awakening. I will say that um, Kundalini awakening is a dance. It can be a slow process for some people, or for others, it can be very fast. But today, I just want you to go into each chakra and we're just gonna see, where are we? Are we even open enough for the serpent energy to move through us? Because a lot of us have different blockages, right? Right? Like, oh, dang, I want to wake up the Kundalini, but I don't know how to express myself and share it. And then, oh, my throat chakra's locked. Okay, well, now I'm not voicing my truth and I'm letting people walk all over me. How do we open that? With love, with compassion, with gentleness. So if you feel called, you can get cozy, let the eyes close. I'm going to share some music and you can just start to take a few deep belly breaths. So inhaling into the belly, taking a deep diaphragm breath in, and exhaling, just softening, releasing as you do. Inhaling again into the belly, and exhaling this air. Your next inhalation, I want you to bring in a bright, inhaling this bright color into the belly, exhaling, seeing it push out what you don't need. Again, inhaling this color, exhaling, pushing out anything that you don't need, allowing this color into the aura. As you exhale, seeing a pillar of light all around you, a pot of love forming. And taking two more breaths, filling up your body with this light, your cells, your organs, your meridians, allowing these spaces to be purified with this light. In your mind's eye, I want you to slowly see your higher self joining you. Noticing your higher self has a set of keys. You begin to follow your higher self to a golden door. Noticing the embroidery on the door. Is it new? Is it old? Allowing yourself to go into this space. You come into an luminous temple for your soul. Temple of light. Maybe you can see the clouds and the stars outside. But somewhere in this space is a fire. Making this way to the fire, sitting across from your higher self. You begin to come back to the breath, releasing the shoulders, softening with each inhalation and exhalation. With your higher self in front of you, in front of this flame, bring your hands to your root chakra, bringing your hands to the pelvic area. Imagining an energy sitting at the base of your root chakra, seeing a serpent, a snake, coiled, and slowly seeing this snake uncoil and go into the root chakra. Just observing, how does it feel in your root chakra? Imagining with this snake coming into the root chakra, your higher self bringing a light into the root chakra so you can see. Asking your root chakra, what do I need to release to awaken to my divine self and essence? What do I need to release, chakra, to awaken to my divine essence and self? Just being open to anything you're hearing, feeling, sensation. And asking, what do I need to heal, continue to grow? Noticing that the light that your higher self has placed in your root chakra is growing brighter, just with the awareness coming in this. allowing this serpent energy to come out of the root chakra. And imagine it going up the spine, bringing the hands to the belly button, and allowing this serpent energy to go in to the sacral chakra, feeling the essence, the energy here. Allowing your higher self to place a light in your sacral chakra. Asking, how can I create the reality I want to live in? How can I create the life and reality I want to live in? Listening, observing, being open. Allowing this energy to show us where we want to create in our lives. Again, bringing the serpent out of this chakra, seeing it dance up the spine, bringing the hands, the solar plexus, the top of the ribs, a little bit under. Allowing the serpent to go into the solar plexus and asking, where can I shine my light to walk my mission courageously? Where do I shine my light to walk my mission courageously? Allowing your higher self to bring some light into this chakra. Asking, where do I block my own light from being seen? How do I heal this? Allowing the last messages to come in from the solar plexus. Observing how the chakra feels now that you are present. Again, allowing this serpent, this snake, come out of the chakra and back up the spine, moving the hands to the heart. Seeing the serpent go into the heart chakra. Asking, how can I love myself more? Show up for the collective joy and awakening. Asking, how can I love myself more to show up for the collective joy and awakening. Allowing your higher self to place some light into your heart chakra. Allowing your higher self pour in more light into your heart chakra as you continue to listen. Continue to listen how to love yourself more. Taking the essence, the energy, the messages, the feelings that arose in your heart chakra. Allowing this serpent to leave the heart chakra. Begin to dance up the spine towards the throat. Seeing the serpent entering the throat chakra as you bring your hands to your throat. Allowing this serpent into the throat chakra. How does it feel? Allowing your higher self to bring some light into your throat chakra. Asking, where am I blocking my own truth, self-expression? Where am I blocking my own truth or self-expression? How do I heal my voice to be a beacon light, to express myself and my mission? How do you heal your voice, your expression? Imagining your higher self pouring more light into this chakra. Like you can do a gentle or hum gently to yourself, activating the throat chakra. Allowing any last insights. And then allowing the serpent out of the throat chakra, back to the neck, the spine, dancing up to the third eye, seeing the serpent enter the third eye, moving your hands in between your eyebrows. Seeing this serpent go into the third eye, Anya chakra, observing how it asking, how do I awaken my intuition to see clearly? How can I open my intuition to see clearly? Allowing your higher self to bring some light into this chakra. Asking if there are any blockages keeping your third eye from awakening. How do you release them? Bringing your eyes that are closed to focus on in between the eyebrows as you observe. Learning to see clearly in the darkness of illusion. Breathing in your last insight. And allowing the serpent to go out of this chakra and seeing it dance to above the head. Imagining a cobra or the snake's head dancing above your head and entering the crown chakra. Bring your hands to rest on both sides of your head. And asking, how can I connect to the infinite light that is? How can I connect to the infinite light that is? Infinite light of source. Allowing your higher self to bring some light into the crown chakra. Observing the sensations, the emotions, the messages with love. Allowing the serpent to come out of the crown chakra, bringing your hands to meet in prayer, and observing the serpent, just the head of the serpent above your head, looking around as your protector. Then following the serpent back down, snake back down the chakra, going down to the third eye, throat chakra, the heart chakra, going through the solar plexus, the sacral, and going back down to the root chakra. Seeing it coil around the root chakra.
What'd you say?
Seeing the snake coil down to the root chakra, around the root chakra. Taking a moment to just feel what is coming up for you. Your mind's eye, seeing that fire, and across from you, your higher self. Allowing yourself to stand up in your mind's eye and embrace your higher self in a hug. 3 times saying, I am, I am, I am. Making your way back to the golden door with your higher self. Observing now how you look in this space. Taking one more glance at where you are. Giving gratitude. Making your way out this golden door. Coming back into the belly breath. And back to the room that you're in. With each inhalation and exhalation, finding movement in the hands, the feet. Maybe swaying that spine a little bit. Bringing the hands above for a stretch. You can embrace yourself in a hug. Giving yourself a kiss on the shoulders. For all that you're doing is enough. When you're ready, you can let the arms go where they feel comfortable. And slowly open the eyes, coming back into the space. Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you all, did everyone feel the serpent or did they? Yeah, I see some heads up. Okay. If one or two people want to share before we close, the space is open. You can either unmute or raise your hand.
I'll
Anya,
share.
you moved.
Oh, somebody else go. Go for it. Go before me.
You can.
I thought I heard someone, so I stopped talking. Okay. Wow. That was beautiful. That was really beautiful. I felt very activated, especially because I've been working on the Kundalini and working on moving the energy up and down my spine. I'm completing the east direction of the medicine wheel of the Q'ero people of South America, and Quetzalcoatl is the third eye archetype that is literally it's been blown into my body, and it's like receiving a Reiki attunement. So I very much feel that energy and the just like feeling the Incans, feeling the ancients as we did this, and like moving because I like didn't necessarily feel the full connection just to myself. It felt like this is so much larger and that this is just activating into what we're doing, the collective and how we can start to unravel the stories that we have around, oh, I don't go there. I don't look at that. I can't do that. Oh, my throat chakra is blocked. It's like we have these stories that have become identities because we believe them to be so. And we repeat them so many times that they become our identity. And then we wonder why we have symptoms in our physical bodies when we're actually living an identity that's not truly in alignment with us. And so I think by walking this path and walking through not necessarily just the chakras, but just looking into the wisdom that cacao offers and just indigenous wisdom in and of itself is it is so deeply reclaiming for this present moment when we really need that ancient wisdom. We need that ancient wisdom. And I was trying to explain this medicine wheel journey to one of my friends who's just not really on on a spiritual path, and she's like, it sounds really ungrounded, it sounds really like all over the place. And I was like, actually, it's the most grounded thing I've ever done. It is earth-based medicine. It is a connection to the earth. It is a connection to how can we be a caretaker of the earth, and how can we be a caretaker of other people to also see and feel that within themselves. And I think that's really what I felt kind of come alive even more doing this meditation, and just like feeling the connection to myself and how that ripples into the deeper collective on a much, much larger scale.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. And it's so important in these times, like you're saying, that we honor so much of the wisdom we have. We're not out here without the tools. There's been so many ancient civilizations and keepers of the truth to help us come into that awakening. I saw Sheila said she had a seven-headed serpent. Um, and had the snake as a protector on her crown. So if like the cobra energy, and there's so many ways that we can reclaim our power and our truth, but it does sometimes require us to get, curious about the older lineages because they took care of a lot of civilizations, right? If anyone else wants to share, feel free. We'll take one or two more people before we close this space.
Yes, thank you all for allowing me to share this space with you all. But I'm having it's hard. I'm in such a beautiful space. I just want this to go on to the next day, next day. This is so beautiful. But I also had the serpent come above my head, and he just like I don't know how the cobras do it with his call where they fan out, but it was like all over my head. And then when we were going back down, I was like, "Don't go, please stay right here," because I felt it really activated right here when we got to the third eye. And then, but I remembered you're always there. So thank you for bringing remembrance that I can bring upon what it is that I need. I also love the questions. Today, after this, I'm going to be writing a lot of questions. Just the questions you were asking, like, what is blocking me? I haven't done that in a while. So I need to go ahead and check myself and get some clarity. But thank you.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to leave the serpent up there, but then I was like, maybe they gotta go out and do things. You don't want to be that awake going around the regular humans, the muggles. You know what I mean? You gotta protect yourself. I'm so grateful that that was supportive of you. And, this is something we can do in our morning practice. You can have your cup of cacao in the morning and send your chakras through and see what's going on, what's coming up. So thank you for sharing. Hadi, I saw your hand up.
Yes, loved this practice and Kundalini. I actually did like a Kundalini yoga experience 2 weekends ago. Um, and it was just, I hadn't done Kundalini in a while, so it was really nice to reconnect with the very active energy of Kundalini. And we did each chakra, right? And statements around each chakra. So like having this moment, and that was probably around the new moon. So it's like, and we're getting close to the full moon. So it's kind of lovely to like reconnect. But the imagery was potent today for me. It's always, I don't know, I already know, we already know your magic is great. But with with the temple, I know we've been doing, I know we've been doing the temple for a while, and it was very different today. It was very ethereal, and the projection of like my higher self was very different today than it's been in the past. And sitting in the fire, and it was gone like sitting across, and then having a projection within the fire of each of the chakras and their own um like they had their own image, like so the chakras of my each of my chakras had like projected out into the fire, and had their message. But um what was uh, what was interesting for me is just the way in which in the end, like it all came together and really seeing like this rainbow of colors and really allowing myself to be in that space because I'm like, I'm like, I like a plain, I'm not plain, but like, I'm like, colors are, I'm pretty plain. I'm like, neutrals and muted. So I was like, oh, there's all this color today. And I guess that's part of it too. So just embracing that, that's part of it, right? Like it fully embracing this, I'm like, oh, it like the colors were shining, the rainbow was there. There were stars and it was just it was beautiful. But I had to stop. I had to write something down because like I don't want to forget this. Um uh Gosh, I think it was like stop resisting truth for survival. That was like I was like, oh, let me write that down because I don't want to like it was like write this down, stop resisting truth for survival. And it's just something we all do, right? It's like I have a job that's like ugh, and if I'm true, I mean, these people they get a little bit of me because I can't not be who I am. I mean, I have out of office messages that's like, this is not that important. Like, this is just a job. So much so that like my VP was like, that they're like, oh my God, do you want to be here? I'm like, fuck no. Like, who cares about this? This is not important to the grand scheme of life. But I need you to invest in my real life. So that's like the bit like that's the biggest thing for me. I'm like, ooh, I can't not show up as this person who's like, guess what, y'all? This is a fucking matrix and none of this is gonna matter. And I'm not gonna be on my deathbed caring about any of this. So take that for what it is. And you shouldn't either. Like I can't not show up this way. And I mean, and also I like a steady income. I like to have this income so I can keep funding things that I need to do for the resistance. And so it's there's this that's the biggest thing for me. Like it's time. I know I'm like it's time, and I know you would think as a Capricorn, I'd be like, let's comply, but it's no. It's like this is old. Like we need a new system. And y'all are just stuck in the system, and I'm like, let's evolve this system. So yeah, the truth and like there is that part is like you can't always bulldoze your way through, but I do want to. Um, there's a big part of me that's like, oh, this is so old. Like we need to move on. Like let's get past this. Everybody, let's go. And not everybody's yet in that journey. They're so like involved in this world of what they do as if it's important. I'm like, this is not important, y'all. And I say it in almost every meeting to almost every person and I'm like, well, that's what I must be here for to remind them of that because my story hasn't changed much. I'm a little bit more open to being like, oh, you're in that truth. That's nice. And I give them more permission to recognize I'm like, oh, this is not your everyday, but this is my everyday. So I'm like, I can infuse and sprinkle a little bit of like my truth into their life and recognize that like they have a truth too. That's totally valid for them. But I really appreciated kind of getting this. And I'm actually wearing this, like I have this cup today and I have been looking for this cup and I forgot. And I was like, oh, the rainbow, like all the chakras, like all of this energy is always around us. And as I look at you, Bricali, and I see the crystals and I see that like this rainbowness, it's there, it's available to us at all times. So like the spirit and the energy of the chakras and the is available to us, and we just take a moment to attune. But as someone who carries Khan, this was beautiful. The reminder of the power that lives in all of us, and that's activated in all of us at all times. We have to choose to allow it to sometimes take over and do the work that it's meant to do. So thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Hadia. Thank you for that saying, stop resisting truth for survival. I pray that you can keep playing with this meditation, maybe in your morning practice, so then it can help you understand what your root chakra needs and ways to make abundance to live in your mission. I want to thank all of you for joining, for exploring the chakras and the Kundalini together in the collective. Always so grateful to be here with the Aura community and to to play with you guys in this dance of life. So we'll just close the space by giving thanks to the four directions. Get your hands to your heart, get little spirit fingers in your heart. You know, you gotta wakey, 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 wakey. So we're gonna bring the spirit hands to the floor. Bring them, you got your spirit hands, bring them to the earth. Thank the heart of the earth. Dame gracias al corazón de la tierra. Bring them up. You might want to sway, get some movement up to the sky. Thank the heart of the sky. Dame gracias al corazón del cielo. To the left. Taking the heart of the waters. Dame gracias al corazón del agua. To the right. Thanking the heart of the fire. Dame gracias al corazón del fuego. In the front, spear hands. Thanking the four winds we breathe. Dame gracias al cuatro vientos que respiramos. And back to your heart. Sprinkle, sprinkle, little star. Thinking that light that you are inside, that light interior. Gracias la luz interior. One more hug for yourself. You're doing great. Keep doing it. So nice to be here. Thank you all.
Thank you guys so much. This was so beautiful.
Thank you.
Matios, Matios, Matios.
Matios Chavea Hakan.
Matios, my beautiful sister. Thank you. So good to see you.
You too.
I love it.
I love you all. Have a beautiful, amazing day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.